Imagine you're standing in front of this massive, gleaming new data center. I mean, it's got state-of-the-art cooling, biometric security, the works. But there's a catch.
Right, a pretty big one.
Yeah, the developers were so completely focused on the building itself, they forgot to check if the local power grid could actually support it. Welcome to this deep dive. Today's mission is unpacking David J. Abbott's research on organizational decision-making. We really want to figure out why 90% of major infrastructure projects go over budget, on average by 28%.
And the crucial thing to understand here is that this isn't about incompetence.
Okay, then what is it?
It's this phenomenon known as the planning fallacy, which is essentially just systematic blindness.
Yeah, if you've ever sat in a pitch meeting and felt like, wait, these numbers are way too good to be true, you've witnessed this firsthand. Let's look at the boardroom dynamic that drives it. Picture Sarah. She's, an ambitious manager pitching a massive infrastructure investment.
Right, and she has this incredibly compelling, optimistic narrative.
Exactly. And she knows every single technical detail of her specific project. This is what we call the inside view.
But then you have Sam.
Right.
Sam brings the outside view. He's the board member who kind of ignores Sarah's beautiful narrative and just looks at the base rate, the cold, hard historical statistics across similar projects in Africa.
Wait, I need to push back on that a bit, though. I mean, Sarah is the finance director. She knows her project down to the final cent. It feels deeply counterintuitive to say that her deep expertise on those specific details is exactly what makes her so bad at predicting its success.
I know it sounds backward, but the human brain just prefers a cohesive story over uncomfortable facts. Because Sarah is so zeroed in on her immediate visible information, she ignores that outside view.
Wow. So focusing narrowly on the details feels like responsible management, but it's a trap.
Exactly. It causes you to ignore deep structural similarities to past failures. You become so enamored with the specifics of your plan that you just miss the broader reality.
So the inside view is like admiring the beautiful paint job on your car, while the outside view is noticing the engine is actually on fire.
That captures it perfectly. And when organizations ignore the Sams in the room, they leave the door wide open for outsiders to completely disrupt their industries.
The Kenyan outsider success stories are staggering here. I mean, look at M-Pesa. A telecom company ended up moving 60% of Kenya's GDP. They completely crushed traditional banks.
Right, because M-Pesa was a telco. They didn't have the insider baggage of thinking about branches and vaults like legacy bankers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they looked at currency not as physical paper, but as data that could be sent over a cellular network. The banking insiders were blind to this because their inside view required a physical branch network to even conceive of a transaction.
It seems like deep industry expertise literally makes disruption invisible to incumbents. Why do insiders consistently miss what outsiders see so clearly?
It's that baggage. We see it everywhere. Look at John McCarrier.
Right. He pitched insurance premium financing, was totally rejected by the industry insiders.
And so he just built AAA Capital and Direct Line as an outsider and succeeded massively. Or look at Equity Afya, a bank successfully running 140 healthcare clinics.
And this blindness gets even worse when an organization hits a crisis, right?
Oh, absolutely. Carl Weick's research on aviation accidents shows this. Experienced groups become incredibly rigid under pressure.
Wait, really? They don't adapt?
No, they actually regress. When conditions change dramatically, crews often fatally stick to their original plans. They regress to familiar comfort zones instead of dealing with the unfamiliar reality.
So what does that regression actually look like in a Kenyan business context when the heat is on?
Well, it looks like a legacy bank seeing M-Pesa take off, and instead of reimagining their business model, they just, launch a slightly cheaper traditional checking account.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They reach for the familiar lever, just hoping the unfamiliar threat will disappear.
So how do you avoid this? To break out of that fatal inside view, you have to force outside realities into your daily operations, right? That means increasing business velocity.
Exactly. World-class organizations intentionally ask every week, what are we missing?
And they hold monthly all-staff town halls and mandate, like a WhatsApp level of responsiveness to communications.
Yes. And these aren't just aspirational HR goals. They are operational decisions that increase business velocity. They force uncomfortable ground truths from the front lines right into the boardroom, shattering those cohesive narratives.
It makes me think of that Mark Twain line. Good decisions come from experience, and experience comes from making bad decisions.
Spot on. You need those outside voices to ensure you aren't just building a pristine, beautiful strategy that totally ignores reality.
Definitely. And if your organization needs a more honest outside view on its strategy, decisions, or direction, the team at aCatalyst can provide it at www.acatalyst.co.key.
Because the last thing you want is a state-of-the-art data center that you can't even plug in.
Exactly. But I want you to ask yourself today, as AI gets better and better at feeding us exactly the cohesive narratives we want to hear, is the outside view going to become entirely extinct? And if so, who will be left to see the crash coming?